Well, hello and welcome to SoCal Prep Report. I'm your host, Randy Rosenbluth. You know, when I was growing up, Louisville was like one of the centers in the United States for sports. The Kentucky Derby every year, great horse racing there. Louisville's great basketball teams with Denny Crum getting in the NCAA tournament and winning titles. How about Johnny Unitas, one of my childhood guys that I looked up to, the great quarterback of the Colts. He was at Louisville and a great player at Louisville. And of course, there's the Louisville Lip, Cassius Clay, later known as Muhammad Ali. Now I think about Louisville because of Louisville High School in Woodland Hills, winning a soccer championship and also a basketball title. And the person behind it, the ringleader, was Miye Kodama. And she's going to join us in a moment. She's a great star in both sports. Tarek Fatal from SBL. SBL, right?
SB Live.
SBL.
SBL. No one's ever called it that.
I've shortened it up.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good, Rennie. I was wondering where you were going with the whole Louisville thing. That was really good.
Louisville's back in the news.
Yes, they are. They're back on top because of Miye Kodama. Again, can't wait to hear to talk with her about just the 24 hours she had. She won 2 CIF titles in 2 different sports, and I believe an 18-hour window.
18 hours. All right, let's bring Miye on. Nice young lady. Could play other sports. She's talented. Could play softball. Could play flag football. She really performs at a lot of different things. Miye, first and foremost, congratulations on 2 great championships. And as it happened, could you almost not believe what you accomplished to win 2 CIF titles for the Louisville girls in 18 hours?
It was definitely really surreal. Like, I was just in a whirlwind of emotions, and like, I feel like I was focused on soccer, then I was focused on basketball, and it all went by really, really fast.
You know what's amazing to me? You have an emotional championship one night. You have the celebration. Now you have to turn around and play another championship game the next day. Were you able to celebrate the first one knowing you had to play another game the next day for another championship?
Able to celebrate a little bit more than I have some of these in the playoffs, because like the semifinals, I had to go from soccer to the basketball game the same day, so I didn't really get to celebrate that. But the day that we won, I did have that night, able to stay on that field, celebrate with the patches and the shirts and take pictures with all my teammates and my family. So it was really great. But then when I went to bed, I just had to, rock a little.
Miye, tell the viewers about the physical challenge of keeping your body in shape all year long. The logistical challenge of picking practice on one day, getting to a game to another, and being able to actually orchestrate all that with your 2 coaches.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely took a toll on my body for sure, but everyone who's supported me through this has been so great, especially our athletic trainer, Kenisha Montgomery. She's the best. She made sure that I was safe and ready every game. I was properly stretched. I cooled down every game, every practice. So I was able to stay with it, stay in top conditions, which was amazing. And I credit her for a lot of it. And for the practice and game schedule, both my coaches, Monica, Sid, and Wari, they were just incredible. They communicated with me so well, with each other so well, and it just made it really, really easy for me, because they kind of just told me where to go.
And then you score a goal in soccer to win the regional championship for your team. Take us through the moment when you did that. You got essentially a golden goal because you won the game. You won the match, 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the prettiest goal I've ever scored, but a goal is a goal. We were going at them super hard. It was only a matter of time until we got a goal. And one of my teammates, Isabella Rudnick, she just cleared a ball up to us, and my left wing, Alexa Burr, she just pressured the keeper in their back line, and that was a really high ball. The keeper kind of fumbled it. It came out. I was on the run right behind him, and I just kind of slotted it.
When it comes to the basketball court, I know your roles are a little different. On the soccer field, you're the scorer, you're the aggressor. I want to say you scored around 40 goals, maybe more this year. Basketball, your role's different. You're a defender, you shoot the open shot, you're a little bit more of a role player. We actually have a highlight here of you getting a steal and layup. So can you maybe talk about just the different mentalities you have in what you can contribute to those respective teams?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like you said, it's kind of opposite for me with soccer and basketball. Like you said, soccer, I'm more of an attacker. Basketball, defending is more of my forte, you know. I just feel like with soccer, it's super like I have, on both teams, I just have so many amazing teams behind me. So they just allow me to do what I'm best at on both teams. So in soccer, that's attacking, scoring. They put me in the right positions. Basketball, they give me room to dribble, attack on those layups like you just saw, you know, and they're all just incredible. And I wouldn't be able to do it behind me.
Before I let you go, as we look at your two plaques, the accomplishment for being part of two championship teams at Louisville, your brother won a CIF baseball title at Crespi. Now he's up in Berkeley playing for the University of Cal. What's it like at home? You've won 3 CIF championships. He won the 1. You have the bragging rights in the house. I see you have trophies behind you. Are you going to stick it to your brother a little bit that I got 3 and you got 1?
We've had a running joke that he was always going to catch me without, I got my first ring my freshman year. And he told me when he won his, right before he won his, he was like, I'm going to get this, I'm going to tie it. And I told him, I was like, I still got 1 more year, And I told him, I was like, I'm either going to get 1 or 2, and I'm going to beat you. And I did, but, he deserves so much credit. He really wanted and worked so hard for his. And, I'm just glad we both have at least 1.
Yeah, Ethan had a great career at Crespi in baseball, and like I said, he's on to Cal. Well, congratulations. You put Louisville of Woodland Hills on the map. I can think of now Muhammad Ali and Johnny Unitas and Miye Kodama because it's all about Louisville. And good luck. We know you're undecided where you're going to play soccer in college, but we wish you the best of luck going forward.
Thank you so much, guys.
You got it. One of my favorite stories of the year.
Yeah, no, that story is unique. I don't know. It would take some real research. It's not really that well documented. I don't know if it's ever been done in the CIF Southern section to win 2 championships in that window in 2 different sports, because we've all heard of the multi-sport athlete, right? The athlete that'll play something in the fall, something in the winter, something in the spring, but it's very rare to see an athlete play 2 sports in 1 season, let alone go on to win CIF championships in that respective sport. Very rare story.
And then get the winning goal in the regional championship for the soccer team. And that's as far as they could go because there's no
won final 3 years in a row, and I believe they've won the last 2. So Jay Sarah seems to always be the team you got to watch out for. I think baseball, it's hard to say, oh yeah, this is the team to be, although everyone's talking about Corona this year. But certainly baseball is one of those sports where there's the usual suspects, and Jay Sarah seems to always be one of those programs.
Orange Lutheran was able to bounce back. They got a victory this week as well, that against Santa Margarita, but then Santa Margarita beat them. So again, there's a lot of games, but this just shows the power. Olu comes back and wins a Trinity League game. Also want to mention the Calabasas game against Westlake. Westlake was undefeated. They have a tremendous team. They got great pitching, great hitting. They have it all, but Calabasas knocked them off behind Jordan Kingston, the pitcher.
Yeah, I'll never forget last year Westlake it was either a 17 or an 18 inning game. It took 2 days to finish. I went to both days, and they ended up winning a Division II regional title, and the majority of that team comes back. So really, really good team, but Calabasas got the better of them that day.
I'm used to Notre Dame and Sherman Oaks having great teams. Now they did knock off Alamany this week 3-2, But Tark, I know you feel like they're not quite as strong as they've been.
Yeah, the Mission League, I think it's fair to say the Trinity League team might be the better league this year, and that's because when you think about the Mission League, you think about Harvard-Westlake, of course, and you think about Notre Dame Sherman Oaks, and they're just a little down this year. As of right now, you never know. There's games to play, of course. Teams can get a little hot at the right time, but I believe they lost last week twice to Chaminade. Now Chaminade's the second-place team in the Mission League, and of course they're very good, but generally the powers of a league need to represent well, and that's just not happening right now in the Mission League.
Well, another Mission League game had Harvard-Westlake over Crespi, and I do think this is a very good Wolverine team.
They are. Bryce Rayner and Duncan Marston, and the list goes on of guys that are really, really playing well for the Wolverines. And, of course, you got Coach Jared Halpert. So really, really well-coached team, always dialed in over there.
Cypress has hitting, and they're going to put up a lot of runs this year. You can see they did it to Placencia 19-2. And another team that has a tremendous offensive attack is La Mirada. They put a big number up on the Warren Bears, 14-3. Bear Calvo hit one of 3 home runs for the team. He hit a 3-run shot. I love the name, Bear Calvo.
Yeah, La Mirada and Warren, I believe that's a Gateway League showdown. So anytime you get into league play, you just want to, the games are always tight generally, but in that case, it's nothing wrong with throwing on a couple runs against your rival.
A couple of games from the West Valley in city baseball. Granada Hills over El Camino Real 4-1, and Birmingham shutting out Cleveland 1-0. You have 4 teams from the league, those 4 teams in your top 5 in city section baseball, and you can see it's competitive in the West Valley.
Well, it's rare. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but I think San Pedro is the only team in the past 30 years to win the highest level of the city section baseball championship at Dodger Stadium. It's always been a Valley team, and most of the time it's a West Valley League team. So it's not hard to see why that league generally dominates the city section. It is Birmingham's, the El Camino Reals, the Granadas of the world, and Cleveland's got a good team this year too.
And Birmingham is the defending LA City Section champion. Let's take a look at our Southern section. SB Live Top 10. I like to refer to them as SBL. You like your new nickname? SB Live, there it is. Orange Lutheran, but they've lost a few games. I would imagine next week you'll have Corona back out on
right.
top.
These are rankings I put out at the beginning of every week. They always come out Monday morning. So, obviously results happen and things will get mixed around. Westlake will drop a little bit. Harvard-Westlake actually might move up a little. And so Jay Sarah might move up after knocking off Orange Lutheran. So there's always constant movement, and gosh, if there's anything about baseball we know, it seems to change day to day because these guys play 3 or 4 times a week.
Right, and the last I checked, San Dimas is really coming on. They've won 8 or 9 in a row. So that's a ball club on the move, ranked number 5. Speaking of on the move, Yucaipa's baseball team is always on the move. They won yesterday against Cajon. They're improving. They're getting better. Their head coach is Ralph Grajeda. If I'm right, I believe he's gone through 7 successful years. Ralph joins us now. Good evening, Ralph. Congratulations on the victory yesterday. And how close is your baseball team to being on our list, maybe being a top 10 or 15 team?
This is year 7. We're a young team. We return just a handful of starters, and we have a lot of youngsters on the field and a lot of first-year varsity players. So I'm really happy with the progress for it. But I'll never use the word rebuild, but it is definitely a younger team and inexperienced team, and they're doing a great job. For 8-4. So it's going in the right direction. We're on top of the league right now, but the league just started. So, I'm proud of what we're doing.
It's nice to, quote, maybe be rebuilding and still be in first place in your Citrus Belt League. Now, I know you have Danny Arambula with us and Wes Hickey, a couple D1 guys. Tell us about the 2 guys that we're going to see on our show in a moment.
Those are special players. So their freshman year was 2021, and so I remember them as 8th graders. They came and watched us play, and they were kids that we knew that were thinking about coming to the high school, and we were excited when they show up. And they ended up starting for us their freshman year, and they both got I want to say 50 RBIs combined between the 2 of them, and had over 30 hits for a freshman campaign. And we threw them right in the fire. And there were some in tough moments as freshmen, but they've done a great job. They've been a 4-year starter for us. They're leaders on the club. They both they both got 100 hits apiece. So it's been great.
Fellows, welcome to the show, Danny and Wes. This question's for both of you guys. So Danny, let's have you go first, and then Wes, you can follow up. Coach mentioned that this team is young. You guys are the seniors. You guys are you're the Division I commits. That's a lot of responsibility on you guys. What's the best way in your own skill set that you guys can lead? Are you vocal? Do you lead by example? Talk about how you lead this team.
Lead by example guy, and Wes is more the vocal one. So I'll go on the field and show them by the way I play, or just give them little pointers here and there. And then Wes is more the vocal. He's loud, talking to guys, picking them up, and telling them this. And I'm more of the low key, just lead by example guy.
Well, Danny,
yeah,
100% to me.
Go ahead, Wes. Go ahead.
Yeah, just touching on the Daniel. I'm more of a here for the guys, like vocally after maybe the hiccup, or even if they succeed, I'm always there for them. I'm always here to back them up. I'm always here if they mess up, and I just guide them on mistakes and stuff, and I'm just always there for them.
One of the marks of a young team, and Coach can maybe speak to this here in a second, is inconsistency, right? You got to learn over time how to show up every day and establish consistency. What are some of the ways you try to get that consistency through those young players? What are some things you guys coach them up on and help them through to get more consistent?
Yeah, I would say it just starts at our practices. Really, just coming to practice every day and having some intent in what you're doing. Take your batting practice, try and go oppo, try and do the hit and runs, try and do the certain spots so that when you get in the game, it's not a shock and you're not all tense. You're just ready to go. So I would say just your preparation in the practice and everything you do is what we try and say.
Yeah, 100%. Touching on to Danny, it just all comes down to having a purpose and wanting to be there and wanting to put in the work to be a successful team and be out on top.
Hey, Danny and Wes and Coach, if you want to chime in on this as well, that'd be great. What makes Yucaipa baseball special? Yucaipa, we're in LA. You're a long way from where we are. But Yucaipa is a nice community. I've been out there. It's beautiful. What makes Yucaipa baseball special and the community involvement with your program special?
Let me, I'll answer and then I'll let them, because they're a part of this process. It's a town that loves baseball. It's been this way for a long time. Our little leagues are amazing. You have Yucaipa National and Yucaipa American, and these kids grow up together. It's the joke a couple of years ago is the neighborhood team. These guys are playing Little League together. It really helps that we're a one-town high school team. The community gets behind this high school program. These kids want to come to the high school and they want to grow up and they want to be Thunderbirds. And you're looking at two prime examples of that. And it's a special thing here in the city.
Guys,
yeah, definitely.
You want to address that?
Yeah, just to touch on what Coach Ralph said, like me and Wes have grown up together since we were maybe 7, playing Little League together.
Before I let you guys go, I got to congratulate you on your D1 scholarships. You're going to play college baseball. Why, Danny, did you pick LSU? Why, Wes, did you pick USC? Briefly, let's hear why you chose those schools.
I mean, I would say I chose LSU. It's one of the biggest programs in college baseball, if not the biggest program, and they have one of the best coaches in college baseball, one of the best offensive minds. So obviously, I want to play at the highest level in college possible, and then get to the pros one day. So this is the spot I felt would get me ready for that, and the coach that I felt would give me the most prep for that.
Yeah, just touching on mine. It all started with creating good relationships with coaches and just having good vibes with them and a good feel with them. And then as soon as I stepped on campus, it felt like home. And being a lifelong Trojan fan, it was just a dream come true.
Well, guys, congratulations on your success in the program. Good luck going forward. Coach Grajeda, always a pleasure to chat with you. You've been part of the program for a few years. Hope to see you down the road when the playoffs come about and maybe, just maybe, a CIF championship for your ball club. We appreciate you being part of the show.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for having these gentlemen on the show.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
They're a great reflection of your program. They do a nice job. They're very, very mature young men. It's great to see. I mean, they're well-spoken, good kids.
It is, and I think at the end of the day, when you think about high school in a general sense, I've always said the football for sure, but any sport is generally woven through the fabric of a community. And Coach Grajeda is talking about how Yucaipa is really just kind of this. It reminded me a little bit of San Clemente. Their thing is one town, one team. Yucaipa's probably got that same spirit, maybe even to a deeper effect, because they just seem to be, the only school in town per se.
How
and I love
gorgeous is that baseball?
No, it's amazing. And so when you get community woven into a program and into a school and so on and so forth, it makes things that much richer.
Enough with the baseball. Well, we'll stay close. Let's go to softball. Got to talk about softball. They got some great teams in the area. Let's start with some of the key scores from last week. Huntington Beach really can hit the softball. This is a team that scores a lot of runs, getting by Fountain Valley. We're going to give you an update on Huntington Beach in a moment, but they won that game. Then in a low-scoring game, La Mirada 2, Downey nothing. La Mirada's got a very solid team. Los Alamitos is strong, and this was a battle of two top 10 teams. Los Alamitos over Marina 8-4, and Orange Lutheran, who's ranked in the top 2, a big win over Santa Margarita. And we had an update from earlier today. Huntington Beach played Los Alamitos. Los Alamitos won that game 5-2 today, in another battle of top 10s. So let's take a look at that top 10 poll. But you can see there's some great teams out there. Number 1 is Pacifica of Garden Grove. They're ranked number 1 in the country. They're 13-0. They won yesterday 13-0, ironically enough. Then Orange Lutheran and so forth down the road. But you can see it's a great list of teams. Norco's had great tradition in softball. We got a team from Riverside and Riverside Poly. But again, the team on top, number 1 in America.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to beat. Los Alamitos will move up after beating Huntington Beach today, according to your score. So that's something to keep an eye on. Oaks Christian always seems to be the team that represents the kind of that North Los Angeles area. And maybe the Lions will make some noise in the Division I playoffs this year.
I'm going to give some scores. Now, we're not going to put these up graphically in the city section, which I just want a quick comment from Tark on why we're seeing so many runs. Anima Watts, 22. Anima Robinson, 9. This is just from Monday. Bernstein, 29. Contreras, 3. LA Leadership, 31. Washington Prep, 7. Middle College, 28. LA Academy of Arts, 6. And Orthopedic, 27. Animo Bunch, 13. Softball used to be 1-0 games.
Yeah, I think listen, if there's anything I've learned covering high school softball for about a decade, it's all about the pitcher. And so if you've got one, that helps. If you don't have one, it doesn't help. So you might see a lot of runs if you don't have a dominant pitcher.
Yeah, but it's a different generation. The ball's flying all over the place and a lot of runs in softball. Really good to see, because in candor, in the early days, a lot of those 1-0 games weren't terrific to watch. I don't know about 31-7 type games, but 1-0, I've had enough 1-0 games. All right, the LA Times this week published their top players from basketball. Then I noticed SB Live published their top players, a lot of similarities. And we start with your player of the year, because we're going to say SB Live and LA Times.
Yep.
Same player, Trent Perry of Harvard Westlake, who led the Wolverines to the Open Championship, not only in the section, but in the state.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much a no-brainer. This is Trent Perry is going SC. He's a McDonald's All-American. He just won the California Gatorade State Player of the Year. I believe he averaged around 17.6 rebounds and 6 assists a game. He shot like 52% from the field. The guy was nails from the free throw line. And anything you asked him to do, he would do it. So if he needed to guard the other team's best perimeter player, he could do it. If he needed to get to the foul line, he could do it. If he needed to pace the game, he could do it. He does everything. He's a great floor game player. He's a great scorer. And, sky's the limit for him. I don't know what his pro potential is, but he'll only get better, and I'm sure he'll get a sniff in the NBA one day.
Well, more importantly, he'll be in the mix next year at USC to play, I think.
No question. No question.
You gave out some other awards today, too, as well.
Yeah, I did. I like to give out awards when at the Daily News I did it. So our freshman of the year was Gene Roebuck from La Mirada. He scored 24 points a game. Our breakout player of the year was Justin Pippen from Sierra Canyon. That's Scottie Pippen's son. He averaged 4.5 points per game as a junior, 16 points per game as a senior. Sierra Canyon was an open division team. Our offensive player of the year was Mercy Miller, 30 points a game going to Houston. And our defensive player of the year was Isaac Williamson of Roosevelt, a great perimeter defender who one day actually helped slow down Brandon McCoy to only 13 points in the Classic Academian Platinum Final. So that pretty much rounded up our our yearly awards, and then we gave Coach David Rabibo the Coach of the Year.
Yeah, from Harvard Westlake. Of course, all we know about David Rabibo is he collects awards, kind of like Trent Perry. We always see him celebrate together at Harvard Westlake. The times. Eric Sotheimer picked Lloyd Webster of Kings. Nice choice. They won the Open Division City Section Championship. That was their Coach of the Year, and you had Dave Rabibo.
Yeah, to me, I just think when you're accomplishing something at the highest level and the way Rabibo did it, so not only did he do it without transfers in a high transfer era, but to repeat, Randy, is very difficult. When you're hunting something, it's not, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's not as difficult. Now, when you're the hunted all year long and you're able to fend away all those, everyone's best shot and still get to the top of the mountain, I think that's worth Coach of the Year award, and that's what he won this year.
Part of March Madness, and March Madness is going on right now in the NCAA tournament already. Kentucky is.
Now he's their best player, averaging 20 points a game. So the list goes on of players that are from the area that are playing in the NCAA tournament.
Spencer Hubbard is another one who is a point guard at Harvard Westlake. He's going to play for Duke tomorrow. I'm just looking at these guys. Ramel Lloyd from Sierra Canyon is going to be on the Nebraska team tomorrow. They're playing. Unfortunately, this is Jared Lucas, the all-time CIF Southern Section scoring leader. His career ended today. They had a 17-point lead with 7.5 minutes to go, and they lost. And then the other one was Nick Davidson from Mater Dei, who was also on that team with Nevada. They lost to Dayton.
You're actually missing when Jazz Gardner's on that team. He was at West Ranch, the big, tall 7-footer. He used to be at Los Altos, and he was on Nevada, and that's Steve Alford's team over there.
Yeah, you're right, but he doesn't play. The other two do.
Yeah, Jazz Gardner plays. But anyway, go ahead. Continue with your show, man.
I didn't see him play today.
He didn't play today, but he
Okay.
plays. He
All right.
plays. He's on the team.
But I'm talking about those are two of the key guys in Davidson.
For sure. Jared Lucas, for sure, one of the key guys.
Okay.
For sure.
Last ad, quickly, we got to go. Granada Hills forfeits 5 football games. Does anybody care? They had an ineligible player. So now, instead of being whatever they were, they end up 3-8. They get losses to Franklin, Cleveland, Taft, El Camino, and Chatsworth. Does anybody really care?
That's crazy. That's actually news to me. I didn't see that.
You didn't know that?
Did that happen today?
Happened yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't know that. It's so late. Why would they even? What does it do for anybody?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah,
I have no clue.
I don't know. That's just obviously
The Franklin game was a tie anyway.
They found something out and just decided to penalize them. And they didn't win anything this year anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Ineligible player. Next year, another year. Maybe they'll get some extra wins. By the way, tomorrow, great volleyball match. Loyola's #1 in the country. Miracosta's #3 in America. The great rivalries in prep sports in SoCal.
Can't believe you forgot about Jazz Gardner today, man.
Jazz Gardner's not in their lineup. God, give me a break.
He does play,
Jared
though.
Lucas and Nick Davidson, those guys are playing.
Nick Davidson, yeah.
Nick Davidson's good. His brother's still playing.
Yeah, Mater Dei guy. Yeah, no. It's the list goes on. Caleb Foster got hurt. He's a player for Duke.
Sure.
He's not going to play the rest of the year, though.
I know. That's it. We're done.
What a shame.
Nice show. Good seeing you again.
Yeah,
All right.
thanks. Appreciate it.
SBL.
No one's ever called it that.
I just shortened it up. We got to get it in time frame. For Tarek, I'm Randy. SBL. We'll see you next week right here on SoCal.
I'm just going to call you
Good night,
I'm just
everybody.
going to call you RR now.
They do. Most people do.
Most